What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing great. Hope everything's going well for you today. This video is going to be basically a guide on my way of cutting in terms of working out and stuff like that. So I'll get straight into it. I don't really want to mess about because I just want to get straight into this. So somebody recommended and asked for this video, which is why I'm doing it now. So basically, my viewpoint on cutting, the way I see cutting as like my definition, I'm not saying it's the definition, but my definition of cutting for me is the idea that you want to lose body fat and at the same time maintain your current weight while also building extra muscle on top of that. Now, it seems hard because if you're trying to lose fat, you might think, oh, well, if I'm trying to lose fat, how am I going to build muscle? And because the idea of cut makes you think, well, I can't cut because if I cut, then I'm going to lose my weight and my muscle at the same time. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't have to work like that is what I'm saying. So the way I would say it, the best way to do it, to maintain your current muscle mass and to even build it while also losing fat and staying at the same weight. It sounds daunting, but here we go. First of all, step one, you need to find out your calorie maintenance. So the maintenance is like the amount of calories you need to have every day to maintain your current weight. So you need to find that out. Once you've found that out, you can then use that to tailor your meals to your everyday life because you're going to have to change your meals. In a cut, you're going to have to change your meals. Now, some people will say to you, oh, if you're cutting, you need to go in a calorie deficit. I personally have never done that, and I don't believe you need to. My calorie maintenance was 3,000 calories a day, and I was on a very strict lean diet. It consisted of a lot of chicken and rice for my lunch and dinner, and then I had eggs and other stuff during the day. But I would have calculated all the fat content, the protein content, the calorie content, carbs. It all gets calculated. So nothing that you do should be just by guesswork, because if you want to cut, you have to cut right. So what I would say is that don't get into a calorie deficit, but change your whole diet. So go straight into a very lean diet. So whether you want to do chicken and rice, personally, I went very extreme. I did plain boiled chicken and rice, no seasoning, nothing. It was literally just plain boiled because no fat, nothing on the chicken and rice. And that worked for me. But it's not nice. It's not easy. I'll be really honest with you. And it's very hard because I did it for about 7 months and it was not easy in the slightest. But it doesn't have to be chicken and rice. It can be any lean meat and carbs, but as long as you've calculated it as well. So I'm not going to tell you exactly the measurements that I used and calculated, because if you want to know that, then you can check it out from my course. So if you do want to know the specifics and the exact details and how to find out all this stuff and amounts of certain things you're going to need, then you can always check out my course, or you can ask me about the course and I'll let you know about it, and you can see for yourself whether you want it to check it out further or not. But anyways, the second thing is you need to get MyFitnessPal. I'm sure you've probably heard it before, and I'm sure you have. The reason I say you need to get MyFitnessPal is purely because going into a cut, tracking your calories, your fat content, your protein, it can be really hard to do by yourself. And I'll be so honest with you guys, no one has the time in the world to do that. And I certainly don't. So I got MyFitnessPal, and you put in your goal. You want to get lean, and you put in your current weight, and I think it lets you put in your calorie maintenance as well. But you can put in your details, basically, explain your goal, where you want to get, that you want to get lean or whatever. And then it will tell you a recommended amount of fat you should have each day to get to that lean goal. It gave me a recommended amount, and I stuck by that recommended amount, and I went from 15% body fat to currently now 10% body fat. So yeah, I would say it's definitely worked out well, but there's other factors too. So with cutting, not only comes the tracking of the calories and the meals you're having, by the way, you need to make sure you stick to those. It also comes with cardio. So cardio is a very essential point in cutting. Now, personally, I adopted a combat sport. I believe that the best way to tackle cardio, especially when cutting, is to just get into a combat sport. So for me, I adopted boxing. I already had a semi sort of previous history with it, so it's something that I already resonated with. But whether you have I don't know, you could have a past with a different combat sport completely. But I would recommend even just getting into one, even if you never have, because the training that comes with combat sports, it's unlike any cardio you could do by yourself. And I truly believe that, because you get pushed by somebody else and there's other people that you're trying to keep up with as well. And what comes with the combat sport as well is the discipline. So it gives you the discipline to keep going in the cut, to keep going and eating the chicken and rice, whatever you're having, those days that you've planned to eat it, and not stray from it. So it goes hand in hand, I believe. And I believe that you need, in terms of cardio, when you're cutting, you need to do at least 3 days of cardio a week. 3 days of cardio at least a week. Yeah, I think if you do that, you're fine. But it has to be very hard cardio. You can't slack. You've got to do running, you've got to do skipping. For me, it'd be shadow boxing, bag work. But this is what I'm saying. If you have a combat sport, you don't have to think so much about it, because every time you train, it's just excruciating, and it's always going to leave you in a puddle of sweat. So that's the way I would do it. The other thing to focus on, however, is the fact that you need to make sure you give yourself one cheat day a week. So I had 6 days of eating chicken and rice plus my other daily dietary requirements. And I had one day, which would be a Sunday, and that would be my cheat day, where I would eat anything I wanted. And I believe it's necessary, because I believe you need to reward yourself at some point, because you've obviously had such a great level of discipline that now you can have this little cheat. You don't have to feel guilty about it or anything. Although I still did, you don't have to. And it makes you realize just how great the food we have is. It gives you a greater appreciation of the food, the natural daily food we have, that we might not see as special right now, but it becomes special because we don't get it that often anymore. So I would say do that. Have one cheat day a week, because you might go insane if you don't. But this is pretty much the basics to my way of cutting. If you would like to know more and the specific details, like of all the how-tos, then you could hit me up and I'll give you a bit more info. And if you want, you can check out my course as well. If you can't find the course, then just send me a DM and I'll get it right to you as soon as possible. I hope this was beneficial. I hope it gave you some sort of insight, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.